It is week 11 of the 2025 NFL season. This is Club Fantasy's Oh Captain, My Captain, our DFS Showdown breakdown of the NFL primetime games. In today's video, we're focusing on Thursday night's matchup between the New York Jets and the New England Patriots. Will we get a repeat of the Week 10 Thursday Night Football game? Dear God, I hope not, but we're going to tell you our thoughts as we break it all down next. Oh, Captain, my Captain. This is Club Fantasy's DFS Showdown breakdown slate video. I just threw a whole bunch of words there. I'm so out of it right now. But anyway, I'm Josh Hudson, your host. This is Austin Amendolia, our DFS expert here at Club Fantasy. And we're breaking down the Thursday night football matchup for Week 11 between the New York Jets and the New England Patriots. Remember, if you're watching us over on YouTube, hit that like on the video, subscribe to the channel so you never miss any of our content. If you're listening over on Apple or Spotify, give us a follow, hit the alert so you never miss any episodes. And of course, you can always join us in our free Discord. Come and talk ball with us, DFS, sports betting, you name it, we got it. Austin, let's get right into it. It's the Jets, it's the Patriots, the AFC East divisional matchup. Our first category here is Captain Chalk, chalky captain that everybody is likely to pick because they're just that damn good. And Austin, there is literally a social media account called Drake May Lover. I don't know what else I need to say for you to tell you need to start Drake May in your captain spot.
Yeah, I mean, he is like the most sure thing in this matchup from a fantasy perspective. And honestly, he may be the only sure thing in this matchup. He is continuing to be really effective, having his breakout second year. But importantly for this matchup, the New England Patriots have a 28-point implied team total based on where the betting lines are, suggesting that there should be plenty of points and touchdowns to go around. We've seen many times throughout the year that even when the Patriots are ahead, they often are scoring touchdowns through the air. And Drake May does use his legs every now and then, so he could get a rushing touchdown as well. It's a really good position for the passing game to work, for Drake May to get there. Overall, so far since Week 7, the New York Jets have allowed an average of 20 points per game to the quarterback position. So it's a really good spot for him overall, and he just has the skill set to get there.
In 8 of his last 9 games, Drake May has thrown 2 or more touchdown passes. I mean, that's about as safe a floor as you can possibly get at the quarterback position. Captains, I mean, I feel like captains are typically quarterbacks. Like, that's where a lot of people tend to go in these matchups. Just as, you know, like the safe options, and then they build the rest of the team out around it. So, but given how much the Patriots spread the football around, makes it a little more difficult to trust any one particular weapon. But in the event you do, let's talk about those contrarian captains. We call this section the mutineers, the contrarian captain choices that offer some variety and upside in larger tournaments. God, I really don't even want to talk about one of these guys. So we're just going to talk about the one that I love because Travion Henderson is inevitable. Finally, we got a breakout in Week 10, and I'm just so happy. I was actually there to witness it. Career highlight for me. Absolutely love it. So let's talk about a little bit about Travion Henderson, who on Wednesday night, the Patriots ruled out Ramondre Stevenson for a second straight week.
Yeah, well, I am also going to need you to just like book a quick flight to the Northeast so that you can be at the game if that's what it takes to get a Travion Henderson breakout. No, we all kind of knew this was coming, or at least I feel like we all should have known it was coming. I mean, Henderson came in really well touted as a prospect, as that potential 3-down back, and he really finally showed out. The thing about him is he is the home run hitter for this team in the run game, and he really showed that last week, getting some of those big chunk gains. I loved that he did the thing that fantasy managers want to do and scored that touchdown at the end instead of playing the analytics and sliding as he probably
fair,
should
he
have.
looked at the sideline and said, hey, we good? Do I need to slide? Like, they're like, score.
Yeah. Although I think Drake May was back there saying, no, slide. But he was the only one that was like, don't score this touchdown, which is hilarious to me. But no, it's a really good spot for Trayvon Henderson. And I think it's an easy pivot because, as I mentioned, the Patriots have a 28-point implied team total. They are favored to win by 12.5 points. And so traditionally, when we see that, we think the run game is going to roll. And so it's really easy to look at Henderson. Also, not only is Ramondre Stevenson already ruled out, but Terrell Williams, Jennings, Jesus, it's such an obscure name because no one of us had Terrell Jennings on our fantasy radar this year, but he is also questionable right now. And behind him, there is nobody in this backfield. So with him dealing with an injury, coming off a short week, it's really easy to see Henderson getting the touches here. And you made the point. The Patriots typically spread the ball around a lot. So if Henderson scores 2 touchdowns, it's going to be hard for anybody else to match him on volume. And he has the skill set and the game environment here to get there.
Yeah, the biggest worry for me with Henderson, we know how much or how capable he is catching the football.
Yep.
He had 1 target against the Bucs, and the Bucs give up a lot in the receiving game to running back. So again, if it's all rushing, I'm all for it, but it lessens the PPR upside, and I think that's the only, deterrent, I think, when you're considering Henderson in that captain spot. On the other side, Justin Fields. I like to think that my face says it all, but I get it. So go ahead and explain, Austin.
Yeah, it's like one of those things where it's like there's a very low floor involved with this play. If you this is one of those reminders, like, you are gambling if you're playing DFS, and if you bet $5 having Justin Fields as your captain spot, you should just make sure you're very willing to lose that $5 because there's a great chance that you do. But there's also a great chance that he is so lowly rostered in the captain spot and he ends up being the highest scoring player, and it just shoots you up the board. I really like having a lineup with Justin Fields. The thing about him this year,
I want you to remember that you uttered those exact words because when he scores 4 fantasy points, you're going to be like, motherfucker.
There's a good chance of it, but I think of all the weeks, this is a week where it can play out for him. So, and here's the thinking for me. Justin Fields does really bad against man coverage. In particular, 2 of his worst 3 games this year came against the Cleveland Browns and the Denver Broncos. Both of those teams play man coverage at well over 30%. The Broncos play it at 33%, the Browns at 44%. The New England Patriots, they do play a lot of man coverage. They play it at 28%. However, they rank last in EPA per dropback in man coverage. So they are playing man coverage a lot, but they are not good at it. And for me, that is a good recipe to play Justin Fields because people aren't going to want to play him, and it sets up as a better spot for him to have success.
If last week showed us anything, it's that Thursday night is immensely unpredictable.
Yeah.
Justin Fields is the epitome of Thursday night football. He is unpredictable. He is the Brussels sprouts at the Thanksgiving dinner table. Okay. You don't want it, but at the end of the day, it's good for you and it's going to help you, or it's going to really fuck up your stomach, one or the other. So that's Justin Fields in a nutshell, people. It's called gambling for a reason, and we'll leave it at that. Our next category are the first mates. Every captain needs a reliable crew. These are your standouts that maximize your lineups. Let's stay on the Jets side of things because for everything that you said about Justin Fields, Garrett Wilson has been ruled out in this game. Who the hell else is he throwing to? That guy seems to look like it's lining up to be rookie tight end Mason Taylor.
Yeah, I think Mason Taylor is likely to get a decent amount of targets in this matchup. I mean, the running backs will probably play a decent role in the pass game as well, but for the Jets, It's a decent matchup for Mason Taylor. The Patriots have allowed the 10th most points to the tight end position since week 7, just under 17 points a game. Actually, they're pretty much tied for 9th with Minnesota, who's also allowed about 17 points per game since week 9. And as I mentioned, they're expected to be playing from behind. So they're going to need to pass the ball to keep up in this game or to catch up in this game, because I do expect them to get down. And Mason Taylor, we've seen him have some like pretty decent pop weeks so far where he gets a lot of volume. I could see this being another week where we get there. I'm not putting him in the captain spot or doing anything weird like that, but especially if you're playing Justin Fields as your captain, like pairing him with Mason Taylor is an easy way to save salary and get access to probably the number 1 pass catcher for the Jets this week.
So on the flip side of that, the other tight end in this matchup, Hunter Henry, has been the opposite. Haven't been about it pop weeks. He has been under 11. Actually, he's been under 10 fantasy points for 1, 2, 3, 5, 6 straight weeks. Woof.
Yeah, he's not necessarily Mr. Reliable, but it's also like, to your point, what you said, like they spread the ball around a lot for the Patriots this year. There's not been like a clear, consistent every week you can count on X receiver to get there. You know, you would hope it would be Stephon Diggs. It kind of seemed like it was to some extent Kayshon Boutte when he was healthy. Well, now he's out, and so it really does. It does come down to just a week by week basis, and I feel like Hunter Henry, like he is a pretty reliable target historically for Drake May, and importantly, Austin Hooper has already been ruled out for this matchup as well. So what we have seen this year is that Hunter Henry might get some targets here and there, but then Austin Hooper scores a touchdown where he's not going to have that competition for the touchdown this week. And I think there'll be an opportunity for Henry to be able to benefit from that. Plus, the Jets traded away some of their defensive talent, their linebacker talent, so their linebacker room is weaker than what it's been, and that's going to play itself for Hunter Henry.
I like the reasoning. Does worry me though, not gonna lie. Our next category is the deck scrubbers. These are the cheap punt plays that can make a lineup based on one player, limited opportunity. Austin, I'm actually really surprised that this whole section wasn't just the Jets team, because I got to imagine that they're not very expensive because all their healthy or their best guys are all hurt or, traded away. So,
well, yeah, the problem with it is that I just I don't know what Jets receiver to rely on right now. So you could throw darts at a bunch of different Jets receivers right now. I mean, they have freaking AD Mitchell on their team now from that trade for Sauce Gardner. But to me, probably the best option in this range for the New York Jets is Tyler Johnson, who did see a decent amount of volume as far as volume in this Jets offense goes right now. Like they didn't have the ball last week. Like
we need to come up with a new definition for volume when using it in reference to the Jets.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Like he got 3 targets and he led the team in targets or something like that. Like it's a rough time out there if you're a Jets fan. But in all seriousness, like we have seen Tyler Johnson perform well when he was with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers last year, and importantly, he has scored touchdowns and he's gotten really chunk plays. So in week 7 and week 8, he had a 34-yard and a 35-yard catch, so we know he can have those nice pop plays. He scored a touchdown a couple weeks ago against Cincinnati. Last week, I mean, they played the Cleveland Browns, so it's like I'm not using that as a relevant data point for this game against the Patriots, because the Browns they're a really good defense, and particularly they're a really good pass defense. So I think that's not really something that we should lean to too much for data points. And Tyler Johnson, like I think he's just going to end up being the number 1 wide receiver by default for the Jets, and he's cheap enough that it's like you might as well. Like again, if you're playing a Justin Fields captain spot, throw Tyler Johnson in there. Like you'll still be able to get access to some good Patriots players on the other side, and you're probably getting their number 1 receiver.
Yeah, I do think AD Mitchell or Adonai Mitchell, however you want to call him, is a decent enough dart throw. I mean, they did get him back in the Sauce Gardner trade. I think this is the time, like with Garrett Wilson out, you have to see what you have in AD Mitchell. Like
that's fair.
So they're going to test out their new toy. And for those wondering, at this point, we have not mentioned Breece Hall. I get it. Let's pump the brakes a little bit. It's been 10 weeks. The Patriots have allowed exactly 1 running back and they faced some really good running backs. They've allowed over 50 yards rushing once this season to a running back. And it happened to come last week to Sean Tucker. Now, you might be saying, well, Breece Hall's better than Sean Tucker. Bijan Robinson couldn't do it. James Cook couldn't do it. Quinshon Judkins couldn't do it. They faced a lot of really good running backs. So for everything that we haven't said about Breece Hall, just know that he ultimately becomes a big play option at the position, and his salary is not going to be representative of what you ultimately want out of what he's going to give you, more than likely. So friendly reminder, you can play these DraftKings tournaments against us. Hit the link in the description. Come play against us. I actually cashed in our the Sunday slate for once. I was really surprised by that. And I'm pretty sure I actually won the Thursday one last week. I think. That's rude. I have to go back and check. But I've been on a good run lately, and I'm liking it. So come take your shot at me. Let's go, people. Bring it. Hit the link in the description. Join the league. Come play. It's $2 tournaments. Let's have some fun. Our final category, the Kraken. These are the lineup traps that can sink the ship. We've talked some about the Jets, made fun of the Jets. Should we, Austin?
I mean, yes. It is very fair. But to your point, and alluding to last week's Thursday night game, like, there is an easy fallacy to get into with any single game where it's like, oh my gosh, it is very clear that this one team is just going to roll. And every Sunday, it's, it gets buried easily on Sundays, right? We know that any Sunday, any given team can win. Like we thought the Panthers, they should have beat the Saints last week. They didn't. The Bills, they should have beat the Dolphins last week, and they didn't. Which I got really cute and was like, oh, I'm not going to play the Bills this week in Survivor, and I'm going to play the Panthers instead. That's going to be the nice contrarian move. And it's like, well, I guess
either way.
I know. I guess I should have played the Lions. But point being, it happens every week. Every week we see that the wildest things happen. Justin Fields coming and beating Drake May on Thursday Night Football would be pretty freaking wild, and people aren't going to want to bet on it. So it's like, okay, if you're playing one contest and that's it, like maybe don't play where the Jets win. But if you're playing multiple entries, especially if you're like somebody who has more bankroll and you're playing 20 entry max, like don't pretend that the Patriots win this game 20 out of 20 times. Maybe they do, but maybe they only win it 18 out of 20 times. And in that case, those 2 times that you bet on the Jets to win are going to be really crucial when everybody's saying, oh, ha, 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 the Jets are a joke. Don't play their players. And they end up popping for a single game, which again, that's what we're betting on. We're trying to predict a single game. There's a lot of different outcomes, even if they most likely result in a New England Patriots blowout.
Friendly reminder, if you're watching us over on YouTube, like this video, subscribe to the channel so you never miss any of our content. If you're listening over on Apple or Spotify or any other podcast platform, give us a follow. Follow along. We create a lot of DFS content. Austin, absolute gem. He knows his shit, and he brings it each and every single week. You can catch the latest episode of DFS Academy. We'll be dropping on Friday, as Austin and Ryan break down the Sunday slate for the Week 11 games. So don't miss any of the DFS content here at Club Fantasy. And once again, hit the link in the description. Come play against us on DraftKings on the Showdown slate, but also join our Discord. Talk some DFS with us, talk some sports betting, redraft dynasty, you name it. Come and talk ball with us. He is Austin. I am Josh. Follow along at Club Fantasy at Club Fantasy FFL. The URL is clubfantasyffl.com. We will see you all next week. Good luck and go win some cash.